Boom, coming in hot, Chinch, day after Memorial Day. How we doing, brother?
Good, man. Shout out to all the vets out there. That's what this weekend was for. But hey, finally some good weather too, just to, be a little selfish about it. It was nice weather. Got to get outside a little bit. How about you?
Pool, you got the pool going. You sent me some videos. You got out there. Amaya's out there. Jess, you.
Yeah, my niece Amaya can finally float and swim a little bit, so I'm not like shaking, standing there the whole time, worrying about jumping in like I'm like Hasselhoff trying to save her every day.
It's no joke. I remember one time Jake was like really little. He just learned how to swim. Andrew, we lived in Florida. We had this pool, and I was talking to, I can't remember who I was talking on my phone, and the basketball's in the middle. Or there's a little ball, and there's a ball in the middle. And obviously, when the kids go to grab the ball, they can't grab it. So he's underneath the ball. All I see is the ball going up and down, and I'm like, this isn't good. I freaking dive in, jeans, ruin my phone, dive in. Oh, I get him. He's crying. He's been on and I'm like, oh, like that's nothing worse than little kids that just learn how to swim. It's like so stressful.
I know, because then when they get scared, it's like, oh, I never want to go in the water again. It's a whole psychological warfare to tell them that they're going to be all right. Anyway, so that was that. But it was still a fun weekend. Anyway.
So good.
But, it's funny. I'm going to ask you this super quick. This fun thing we're going to do today, a little rapid fire. But somebody said, like, this is kind of like one of those, like, you put your flagpole down after Memorial Day weekend. Do you in the big leagues go, all right, let's see where we're at today? Is this one of those markings, or is that just somebody I saw in the media say that?
No, you know what? I think it's a pretty good marking because you're about a third of the way through the season. You're closing in on that. You know what I mean? You're 2 months in. The sample size is big enough. You're looking at some of these teams that, I even look at a team like the Blue Jays. I like to follow them. They're 25 and 27, I believe, like hovering around 500. You're like, man, is that who they are? Is that it? We've had enough going on. You've had enough starters, have had enough starts. The lineup's turned around a couple times. Guys are approaching 200 at bats. It's a big sample size. I know as a player, I used to go every 100 at bat increments. I used to try to, what I tried to do mentally? I'd try to hit 400 every 100 at bats.
Oh.
So I'd try to get 40 hits. The old adage, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're amongst the stars. I used to think that, like, okay, I want to be a 400 career and do it. Chinch, it was funny. A lot of times I would hit that 400 mark. Wow, I hit 400 this month. Like, it would even out and stuff. But like, I like to give your brain something that's, that's a little higher. And yeah, exactly. But what's funny is, now these guys have had 200 at bats. As a player, you're looking at your stats going, interesting. Like, and there was a lot of times sometimes I'd have a bad first half. And I was like, I can't wait to get to the second half mentally just to start over. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of guys at the end of May right now, they're hoping to get to the All-Star game, that if they're raking, they're like, man, I just got to get that push for voting in a couple weeks. So like, there's a lot of things going on in players' minds right now. Like there's enough sample size change.
Right. And on a management side, you're starting to go, oh, all right, we're getting up to, we're hitting that mode where we start looking at trades and stuff. We saw a trade, the Angels have a new center fielder from the Dodgers from last night. So Chris Taylor, which interesting move. By the way, they're only paying him like $700,000 to be their starting center fielder. Good move by the Angels. They're somewhat surprising, which we'll get into. Maybe they are one of our surprise teams. But we're gonna do a little rapid fire right now, and we'll do our kind of like our analysis of where the teams and players are. Let's start at the top, man. Best teams in each league. Let's start in the NL. I think you got 2 teams you like there so far.
Yeah, well, I think in the NL, the Phillies have done enough where we're like, okay, these guys are legit. The numbers that they've put up, I think the Mets have got off to a great first half, and everyone was kind of talking about them. But you look at the Phillies, man. They've 9-1 their last 10 games. They're 34-19 overall. They've got a .42 run differential, which is pretty impressive. They've really played great baseball all year long. And Harper's hot in that lineup, top to bottom right now. Schwarber and Harper and Turner's getting going. And all, I really like the lineup. And also too, Nola didn't really have that great of a first half. So how much better are they when he starts to get going?
Yeah, exactly. And also statistically, offensively, the first 3 weeks of the season, they couldn't hit a lick. And now they're like I mean, one of the best offenses, one of the scariest offensive teams.
Yes.
Their numbers.
Yeah.
And then you can't, I mean, the Dodgers are there. Like the Dodgers are just the Dodgers until you knock them off. They're still the kings of the castle.
Yeah. The Dodgers are 33-21. They've been off and on these last 10 games, but they still have a plus 64 run differential. You know, they're pretty loaded. No doubt about it. You know, also too, you got to look at the Cubs too, man. The Cubbies are good. They're 33-21. Talk about run differential. They have a plus 93 run differential. They're pitching. They're hitting one of the best offenses, you know, top to bottom. But the Cubs are in that conversation too. The Mets are in that conversation with a plus 60 run differential. So there's been some good teams up to this point, Chinch. No doubt about it. It's tough to like just say one.
I agree. In the American League, I think right now there are two teams that are in tier 1 of the American League, and it's the Yankees and the Tigers, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Yankees are the real deal. They really are, top to bottom. I mean, you talk about run differential, plus 111. Plus 111.
Yeah, and they got a guy hitting close to 400, which we're going to be talking about in a second.
No one's close to that, dude. The closest team is the Cubs at plus 93. That's what I'm saying. The Yankees are legit, and Plan B is working. And Goldschmidt is good. And down the line, and Max Fried was the right sign. And let's go. You know what I mean? Like,
holy cow.
They're legit, dude. And Aaron Judge is the greatest player in the universe. And he's getting better. And when he hits the ball, it goes out of the park. And he hits bullets everywhere. And it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like, seriously, dude. The Yankees, what's going to be all the Yankees? No, the Yankees are going to be fine. Brian Cashman, Booney, those guys, they know what they're doing. They're not their first rodeo, man. They're going to put a good club out there.
Yeah, you got a vet team with great leadership. You know, you lose your ace, your closer doesn't work out, which we're going to get to in a second, but they just keep grinding, and they got such good players. Like you go get Paul Goldschmidt. It's not like you just went and got like a replacement player, dude. The guy's been one of the best players in baseball for the last decade.
Right, 2022 NL MVP. He didn't just like forget how to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's been and you know it's just been a fun team to watch. Bellinger's getting hot. He's got over an 800 OPS. You know, Volpe's had a pretty nice year. You know, Trent Grissom's been a big surprise. Ben Rice hits bullets. I mean, they knew. I think they knew more than the fans. They knew more than the public. Like, you know what? We like Ben Rice. He hits the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew Trent Grissom was going to do what he's doing, but like he's still a good player out there. You know, Bellinger, that park suits him well. Goldschmidt had an incredible September. He was like back to his MVP form. Is that who he's going to be this year? Yeah, he is. So, and Soto walks, you know, and we'll talk about that a little bit too, but that hasn't really worked out so far.
There you go. So speaking of not working out, disappointing teams, one of our fans chimed in. This is Lindsey Crosby. He says, one of the disappointments for me has to be the Braves. Positive run differential, but losing record and issues stem from the bullpen, which they didn't address in the offseason, and an underperforming offense. Thanks for that, Lindsay. That's a good tweet. That kind of sums them up on the Bravo side.
That really sums them up, man. I mean, that's the bottom line is that, like, you know, the bullpen has been terrible. The rotation, they thought they're getting Strider back and he went down. Sale's been really good. They've been okay. You know, the rotation's kind of saved them, but the offense has been really not that good. Top to bottom, you know. I mean, you know, obviously, having Acuna out definitely hurts, but you know, you would think that you know, they would be better. Austin Riley started off really slow, got it going. Trying to pull. Let me just pull them up really quick. Yeah, Ozuna's been good, like he is in that 3-hole. He's been really good. Baldwin has been a surprise. The catcher there, you know, young kid, 24 years old, Drake Baldwin. He's hitting 340. And nice run. Acuna's back, which is huge. Austin Riley's been pretty good. Verdugo's been a mainstay. You know, it was a nice little late sign. Albies hasn't been good. Michael Harris hasn't been good. So that offense really, really hasn't gotten it done. So, but Schwellenbach's been pretty good. You know, they got
their star back. I mean, let's see what happens. See if they can go on a run.
Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah,
tough start to the season. Let's stay in the Southeast for the American League. Dude, the Orioles in 2024 finished 91-71. Brandon Hyde, the manager, they are currently sitting at 19-34. They're 14 games out. This season is it would have to be a drastic, unbelievable run for them to come back. And they've won 3 in a row. So they have the team, they have the players. We've seen it. They have a track record. What's going wrong with them, dude?
The O's have just been disappointing, dude. You know, for what they did last year, Brandon Hyde's already gone. I don't know if that was the right call or not. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Corbin Burns gone. You know, they've been banged up in that rotation. You know, Gunnar Henderson started off in the deal. They just haven't been good. They haven't been good. I think they're better than they are, but they've been a big disappointment so far in the season.
Yeah, and speaking of disappointments, if you talk about player disappointments, they reside, these two guys, within probably like 10 miles of each other. They might be living in the same condo right now. And that's Juan Soto of the Mets and Devin Williams of the Yankees. Dude, Williams was supposed to come in and close. He ain't the closer anymore. By the way, their closer is really, really good. I'm glad he's
Jeff Weaver's really good. He was really good last year, and they relied on him in the postseason. I mean, Booney went to him for 2 inning saves, and, you know, he's got nasty stuff, and he's got that mentality too. Devin Williams just hasn't been able to get it going in New York, man. New York's a different beast. I mean, to his credit, he's been the best closer in the game for the last few years. So how would you think when you go to get him that he would struggle the way he has? So that's been probably a bit of a disappointment, no doubt about it. And I'd say Juan Soto, man, $765 million. I mean, just the bottom line is you expect Aaron Judge or close to it production. You know, there's no doubt about it. And, you know, with Juan Soto right now, you're getting a guy that gets on base. And I don't know if a guy that has a good on base percentage is that what, you're not paying that $765 million for on base percentage. You're paying for a guy that's a run producer that's hitting better than career average of 418. I guess if you give him some credit, go back and look at Lindor's first year in New York, dude. He was not that good either. Everyone's like, well, what's going on here? You know, he's better than he is, you know, and I think he's getting his feet wet, and, you know, he's just getting crushed right now by everybody, including at the mayor's office. We're not really crushing him, but we're saying, hey, it's a disappointment. When you see guys get paid like that, you want to see him perform, especially in New York, but he'll get it going, but it's been a disappointment so far.
Yeah. Okay. Our surprise is it's a hodgepodge. We have a veteran in the American League offensively. We have an upstart in the National League, biggest steal trade maybe in history coming up. And we have a pitcher out in San Francisco. 3 guys for your surprises.
Yeah. Biggest surprise for me, and I'm not super surprised, but I think all of us are surprised. If you're signing a guy for 1 year, $12 million, that means a lot of teams weren't on him, is Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt's hitting 345, 27 ribbies, almost an 890 OPS. He was, don't forget, I mean, go look at his in September, he raked. So, like, I'm not totally surprised by that, but good for Paul Goldschmidt. In the NL, man, we were talking Pete Crow Armstrong, right?
Yeah, dude.
Pete Crow Armstrong, do you expect, I think he has 14 pumps, doesn't he?
Yes.
Do you think Pete Crow Armstrong right now, and if you say yes, you're lying, that Pete Crow Armstrong would be hitting 280 with 14 pumps and 48 stakes, 14 stolen bases and 875 OPS? No chance, dude. Like, he's been a huge part of that offense out there in Chicago. So good for him. And dude, I want to stay there for a second just because Seiya Suzuki, dude, would you have thought he'd be at 274 with 14 homers, 49 RBIs, and over a 900 OPS that's 2 months into the year?
Very similar to the Yankees, where it's like, oh, what are they doing? What are the Cubbies doing? What are they doing? And then they knew what they were doing.
Right,
like,
yeah.
When you have good management and really good scouting and all that kind of stuff, you figure out what to do for your ballpark and your team. And geez, good stuff with them. And then, hey, how about Robbie Ray out in San Francisco?
Dude, I thought this at spring training when Robbie Ray came back, I believe, from Tommy John, and he's always been a fastball guy. Good fastball, I think slider, you know, everything hard. And when I saw him talking to Tarek Skubal in the offseason about, can you help me learn to throw your changeup? And he did. I was like, this guy's going to go to another level. And what are his numbers, Chinch? It's like 7-0 with like a 2.8 ERA or something like that. And like,
it's unbelievable. Here, Robbie Ray, 7-0,
yep.
2.56 ERA. He's pitched 63 and a third innings, and he's got 69 strikeouts, dude. Opponent's batting average 204. How's that feel?
Wow, man. You got to love that. And the Giants are 31-23, and a big reason why is because of Robbie Ray. And I'm sure they didn't think Robbie Ray was going to come out and do what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, coming off of Tommy John, I believe, and getting back to, you know, but good for him, man. Good for the Giants. Good for Robbie Ray. Still reinvent. You never know it all. You always got to be learning to reinvent yourself, and Robbie Ray did it.
I love it. All right. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to tease something for tomorrow's show because we got to dig deeper into these numbers. How about tomorrow? We're going to dive hard into the Cy Young debate.
Okay, yeah,
on
that'd be
both
great.
sides.
Let's do that. Cy Young and the MVP.
Yeah, and by the way, in the comments right now, you guys tell us who your Cy Young is, who your MVP is. We've kind of thought about these guys today. We were talking about it before.
And maybe give us an MVP that's not, Judge or Ohtani or somebody that, give us your MVP that, next tier MVP.
Yeah, next tier MVP. Yeah. Ooh, let's get a patent on that.
Yeah, get that on there.
Next tier MVP. Okay, let's do that. All right, brother.
All right, Chinchy. Love you, man. Everyone out there, appreciate you listening. Really appreciate you. And subscribe and download. Costs you nothing. It's all free. Chinchy, get in that pool today, brother. It's going to be another great day out there. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
See you.